Some people attract attention the moment they enter a room without saying much. It's not about looks, money, or status. It's about psychological patterns that quietly shape how others feel around them. Today, we're uncovering the invisible behaviors that create real attraction. Attraction begins long before words are spoken. It starts with how a person makes others feel emotionally, often without realizing it. One of the strongest psychological patterns is emotional safety. When someone feels calm, respected, and understood around you, attraction naturally grows. For example, imagine two people listening to the same story. One interrupts, corrects, and rushes the conversation. The other listens, stays present, and responds thoughtfully. Most people feel drawn to the second person, not because of what they said, but how they made them feel. Another powerful pattern is self-regulation. People who can manage their emotions, especially under pressure, appear more attractive. When someone stays composed instead of reactive, it signals emotional maturity. In real life, this could look like staying calm during a disagreement rather than raising your voice or shutting down. This behavior creates trust, and trust is a foundation of attraction. A third pattern is intentional presence. Being fully present in a conversation. Eye contact, relaxed posture, focused attention sends a strong psychological signal. It tells the other person you matter right now. In a world full of distractions, presence itself becomes attractive. There is also the pattern of balanced openness. Sharing thoughts and experiences gradually instead of all at once creates curiosity. When someone reveals themselves in layers, it gives the other person space to engage emotionally over time. This balance avoids oversharing while still building connection. These patterns don't manipulate emotions. They work because they align with how the human mind naturally responds to safety, respect, and emotional clarity. Attraction grows when behavior is consistent, calm, and emotionally aware. And once these patterns become habits, they begin shaping every interaction you have. Another important psychological pattern is confidence without dominance. Confidence signals self-trust, while dominance creates pressure. Attraction increases when confidence feels calm and grounded, not loud or forceful. In daily life, this can look like expressing an opinion clearly, without needing to prove it or push it onto others. Closely connected to this is emotional boundaries. People feel drawn to those who respect their own limits and the limits of others. When someone can say no calmly or take space without guilt, it signals self-worth. This creates a sense of stability, which the mind often associates with attraction. Another subtle but powerful pattern is emotional pacing. Attraction weakens when emotional intensity moves too fast. When someone allows connection to develop naturally, moment by moment it feels safer and more genuine. For example, letting conversations deepen gradually instead of forcing intimacy early creates emotional balance. There is also the pattern of positive emotional association. The brain connects attraction to how it feels during interactions. If conversations leave someone feeling lighter, calmer, or understood, the mind begins associating those feelings with you. Over time, this emotional imprint becomes attraction. Finally, consistency plays a major role. When words and actions match over time, the nervous system relaxes. Consistency removes confusion, and clarity strengthens emotional interest. Unpredictability may create short-term excitement, but stability builds lasting attraction. These psychological patterns work quietly in the background of every interaction. They don't demand attention, they earn it. Attraction is not a performance. It's not about memorizing lines or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about understanding how human psychology responds to emotional safety, confidence, presence, and consistency. When you regulate your emotions, respect boundaries, stay grounded, and communicate with awareness, you naturally become more attractive. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you create an environment where others feel calm, valued, and understood. Real attraction grows from subtle patterns repeated over time. It builds through trust, emotional clarity, and balanced connection. And when these behaviors become part of who you are, you don't need to chase attention. It begins to come to you naturally. If you found this insight helpful, take a moment to reflect. Which psychological pattern can you start practicing today? Stay aware, stay grounded, and remember, true attraction begins within.